The Amazon does not separate land from water cleanly. It blurs them, flooded forests, dark rivers spreading into grassland, mud banks where something is always either hunting or hiding. Two predators have claimed this border as their own. One kills with its jaws, one kills with its body. Today, in the late afternoon heat, their territory lines cross. Something is about to happen that neither animal can walk away from easily. Just before we continue, we're new to YouTube and we've just created this channel for wildlife enthusiasts like you. We need your support to keep moving forward. Consider subscribing to help us continue this adventure as long as possible. The Amazon belongs to both of them. That is the problem. The jaguar moves through the forest with a confidence that comes from being, on land, the most dangerous thing present. It is the largest cat in the Americas, a male reaching over 100 kilograms, built lower and wider than a leopard, with a head so large and jaw muscles so thick that its bite force exceeds every other big cat on Earth. Around 1,500 pounds per square inch of pressure, directed through canine teeth that can punch through a turtle shell, crush the skull of a caiman, or sever the spine of prey through the back of the neck before the animal fully processes what has grabbed it. The jaguar does not hunt the manage both. On land, the anaconda is slower, less certain, stripped of its primary advantage. On land, its enormous body mass becomes a liability rather than a weapon. The jaguar knows land. The anaconda knows water. Today, they are meeting exactly where the line between the two disappears, and neither one will see the other until the moment it is already too late to reconsider. The jaguar arrives at the water's edge just before the light starts going gold. It has been moving through the flooded forest for the last hour, following the scent of capybara along the bank, reading the mud for prints, pausing every few minutes to scan. It is not nervous. It does not have a reason to be nervous on land. Its ears rotate, catching the drip of water from overhanging leaves, the distant call of a bird flushing from somewhere downstream, the normal sounds of a river margin settling into the late afternoon. It does not hear the anaconda. Nothing does. The snake has been in the same position for 4 hours, half submerged in the dark water at the edge of a fallen tree, body coiled loosely beneath the surface, only the top of its head breaking the waterline. Its tongue flicks every few seconds, pulling chemical information from the air and water. Something heavy is moving on the bank above, getting closer. The jaguar steps to the water's edge and lowers its head to drink. For 30 seconds, nothing happens. The water is still. The surface shows the jaguar's reflection, the rosette-spotted coat, the massive jaw, the amber eyes scanning the far bank. Nothing looks wrong. Nothing looks dangerous. The jaguar's paw shifts forward slightly in the mud, and the outer edge of it brushes something beneath the surface that feels less like mud and more like muscle. The anaconda moves. The water explodes. The anaconda's strike covers the distance from the submerged log to the jaguar's body in a fraction of a second. Jaws open, the entire front third of the body launching out of the water with a speed that belongs to a completely different category than the slow, heavy animal lying still for 4 hours suggested. The bite lands on the jaguar's left shoulder, teeth hooking in, and the coils are already following. The first loop finding the jaguar's torso before the cat has fully registered what has grabbed it. The jaguar screams. It is a sound that carries across the river and into the trees, sending birds erupting from the canopy in every direction. It twists mid-air, all 4 sets of claws raking simultaneously at whatever is holding it, and the anaconda absorbs the raking without releasing. The first coil locks, the second begins to close. For a moment, maybe 5 seconds, it looks like it might already be over. The jaguar is partially in the water, the anaconda's weight pulling it toward the deeper channel, the coil around its ribs already beginning the rhythm of tightening with each breath. The cat's hind legs find the mudbank and push. It gains 6 inches. The anaconda pulls back. The jaguar gains 6 inches. The anaconda pulls back again. This is the battle in its simplest form, raw strength against raw strength, at the exact point where the land meets the water, where neither animal has the advantage it was built to use. Then the jaguar stops pulling away. Instead, it turns toward the snake. The bite that lands on the anaconda's midsection carries the full force of the jaguar's jaw muscles focused into a point the size of a canine tip. The snake's body registers the pressure differently than a mammal would. There are no easily located vital organs at that point, no quick death available from a midsection bite, but the pain response is real, and the anaconda's coil shifts. A small repositioning, a fraction of loosening, and the jaguar takes that space immediately. It drags the front of its body further onto the bank, turning the anaconda with it, pulling 200 pounds of snake out of the water and onto the mud where its weight becomes a different kind of tongue flicks rapidly, the snake equivalent of overload, processing too many inputs at once. The jaguar gets the angle it has been working toward. The bite lands just behind the anaconda's skull. Not centered on the top of the head, the angle was not perfect, but far enough forward that the pressure is applied directly to the cervical vertebrae. The jaguar's jaw closes with everything it has. The anaconda's body convulses, a full-length shudder that sends the tail crashing into the water and the remaining coils loosening completely from the jaguar's body. The thrashing continues for several seconds, huge and uncontrolled, the snake's muscles still firing even as the neurological connection begins to fail. The jaguar holds the bite and does not release. It braces its front legs against the mud, maintaining pressure while the anaconda's movements slow from violent to heavy to still. The water around them is dark with blood from the jaguar's shoulder, from the snake's head and midsection, mixed into the mud at the water's edge in a way that will stain this section of bank until the next flood clears it. When the anaconda is fully still, the jaguar releases. It steps back onto the bank, shaking its head once, and stands for a moment looking at the snake. Its sides are heaving. The shoulder wound is significant, deep enough that the cat will carry it for weeks. One of its back feet favors slightly from where the coil locked against the hip during the roll through the shallows. It begins to feed. Slowly, still breathing hard, it works at the anaconda's midsection, not tearing the way it would with a mammal, but pulling with its teeth in the deliberate way of an animal processing something it does not regularly hunt. It eats for 20 minutes, then stops. It moves a short distance up the bank, licks the shoulder wound, and lies down in the last of the afternoon light. The river closes over the evidence. The birds return to the canopy. Amazon resumes its noise, its movement, its endless, ongoing business. One more collision between two of its oldest residents has been resolved, the way everything here gets resolved completely and without ceremony. If this is the kind of world you want to explore, subscribe now. We are just getting started.